Oh, hi. Didn't see you there. I'm Nick Neoclose, and I'm the director of first year for Sci 2-3. COVID-19 sucks, and physics midterms are being written this Wednesday. Oh no, what are we gonna do? Well, I can't deliver Subway cookies across Canada, but what I can do is I can bake cookies here and eat them on your behalf, and so that's what we're gonna do today. So buckle up, we're gonna walk through this. Very first thing you wanna do when baking cookies, especially in these trying times, is wash your hands. So I like to use scalding hot water if it doesn't hurt. If it doesn't hurt you, it's not gonna hurt the bacteria. Turn your tap off while you're rinsing. Ooh, nice little voice crack there. Get between the nails, people don't often do that. So they say you should wash for about 20 seconds, which is approximately one happy birthday. But fun fact, you can do the chorus of Lizzo's, oh goodness, of Good as Hell. The chorus of Good as Hell is about 20 seconds as well. So that's something to keep in mind. Anyway, alright, it's been about 20 seconds probably. And you wash it under the hot water. Perfect. Okay. You gotta dry your hands off. Use the appropriate towel, of course. Don't use the dish towel, that'd be absurd. And then, next thing you wanna do if you're gonna cook is you need an apron. And if you're lucky, your housemate will just leave theirs lying around. And then you'll put on your handy dandy claim tag. You just claim it for your own. No one notice a difference. Alright, and then you tie it around the back. You tie it around the front. You can really do what you want. It's your call. I'm not your mom. Alright, cool. Now we're ready to cook. Alright, so if you're still here, thank you. We're gonna start off by browning our butter. So, what does browning our butter mean? Well, I didn't know for the longest time either, so I'm gonna show you. First things first, you need 1 cup of butter. So, fun fact, there's a nifty little measuring thing on all the butter packs that you use. So, you can see that if I want 1 cup of butter, I basically need half of this. I use my chef's knife. I use these for anything, except writing an exam. Yes, so that's cool, but exams are online now, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, I absolutely missed the mark, so that explains my graphics grade. I'll just cut off a little more. There we go. That's pretty. Baking's an imprecise science anyway, so go with that. All right, so next thing you're gonna need is a frying pan and a stovetop, I guess. Put that frying pan on there and turn it on to a decently high temperature. So what browning your butter is you are literally going to melt it in this frying pan. Hear that sizzle? Don't use your finger to do it around like I am. And voila, my finger has been replaced by a spoon, and just like that, our butter has all been melted. So you can kind of see how it's almost got this brownish layer on top. It's not as yellow as it was before. Once you hit that point, you want to make sure you pour it all out into really, really strong glass. If the glass isn't strong, it'll shatter and people will not be pleased. Namely you, because shattered glass hurts. But voila. And if you look closely, a cup, almost spot on. Who would have known? So you're gonna put this in the fridge for about an hour. And through the magic of video editing, that hour is gonna take approximately no seconds at all. Solid butter, perfect. Now, you might be wondering, what do we do next? And I'm glad you asked. In a medium to large size bowl, you're going to very, very gently scrape out your butter with a spatula, or the work. There we go. All right. It's gonna be a little tricky. It's all solid. That's all right. You might want to let it soften up a little bit, or you can be like me and film as soon as you've taken it out of the fridge. So that's cool. All right. Once you've got your butter in this bowl, the next thing you're gonna do, you're going to add half a cup of pre-measured white sugar. Voila. And then you're going to add 1 cup of brown sugar. Really pack it down. And then you're gonna say, that's not enough. So you're gonna take that half cup that was full of white sugar, and you're going to pack it full of brown sugar. You're probably gonna get some on your counter. That's fine, the mice need to eat. just cram it all into the half cup, just like that. Really pack it down again, and then boom, throw it in. A masterpiece. Quality assurance. And some of the brown sugar, it's fine. No one can judge you. All right. And the next thing you want to do is really buy a stand mixer so that you don't have to do this by hand. And voila, there you have it. So, you know, stand mixer helps, but you don't need it. And when your budget is nothing, you just do it yourself. So, look at that. That's kind of our consistency now. See, it's no longer grainy and sugary-like. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add not 1, but 2 Ontario eggs to this mixture. They don't have to be from Ontario, but that's where I got mine. Now you wanna be really careful that you don't get any shells in there after all this hard work. And so you'll get a shell in there if you're me, and then you'll have to just dig it out. Oh boy. Then you just wanna mix these eggs in. It's not going to be quite as strenuous as before, but you just want to really liquefy the mixture. Alright, you can see I got my eggs all mixed in. Alright, so you've finished your wet ingredients. Great. Now you need your dry ingredients, just like in the chem lab. So you're going to start off with 11.5 ounces of all-purpose flour. As you see, I'm repping the no-name brand here. It's cheaper, so for the budget-conscious student. And so I said 11.5 ounces. You're just kind of going to go for it until you're happy. Should probably put that on my side. So if it goes a little bit over, that's fine. You can just approximate like most engineers do. And then voila, we have 11.5 ounces of flour. Did you think flour was the only dry ingredient? Nuh-uh. Welcome to the other dry ingredient station where we're gonna add more. So what else are we gonna add? Well, the first thing you're gonna add is some kosher salt. I don't have kosher salt, just sea salt. So we'll go ahead and just like that, you'll see I have about half a tablespoon worth. So just really put your muscles into it and it should work out just fine. So you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna add that one in. The next thing you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna add some baking powder. At this point, it's pretty typical for people to forget the recipe. So they'll go ahead and they'll pull up the recipe on their phone, make sure your phone has been disinfected at some point in the past, and find out that you need half a teaspoon of baking soda. Look around, realize you don't have a half teaspoon laid out in front of you, and so go into your counter and grab it. Go ahead, realize this is baking powder, so reach into your other cupboard and grab it. You know, being an engineer is all about being able to think quickly and on your feet and validate your assumptions and buzzwords, other buzzwords like that. So put that in your Mod 3 report. Tell them I sent you. I get kickback for every person who mentions me. That's pretty cool. All right. So I'm using the Arm & Hammer baking soda brand. Not sponsored, but if they want to, that's cool. All right. So once we've added that, we are going to add my secret ingredient that I got from an online public source. It's cinnamon. So the online recipe calls for about 3/4 of a teaspoon, but I find that a little bit too powerful. So what we're going to go ahead and do here is we're going to take about half a teaspoon of the cinnamon and we're just going to sprinkle it on like so. And we'll just stick with half a teaspoon. Pray to God that it wasn't half a tablespoon. Good. All right. And then the next step is to add everybody's favorite part of cookie, which is the brown sugar and white sugar, and then realize that actually goes in the wet ingredients and we're not going to add that here, so you move those out of the way, and then you recheck your online website to validate your assumptions and realize that all you needed was flour, kosher salt, baking soda, and cinnamon. So we're done with the dry ingredients. Wow. All right, so the next step is to whisk together your ingredients. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab this guy, so whisk. Let's name that because that's what they decided to name it. We're just going to go ahead and really homogenize this mixture here. Now this is the quintessential step. You've got your wet ingredients, you got your dry ingredients, you've set up the problem, you've made your assumptions, you've stated your givens, you just plug and chug now. So what we're going to do is you always add dry to wet, never wet to dry. Fun little tip to remember that is Dry starts with the letter D, and D comes before W in the alphabet, or in the name DW. So that's how I remember it. You're gonna want to add about half of your dry at the start, not the whole thing, and then you just mix, and you mix, and you mix. Look at that. So all the flour from that first half is mixed in, and it's getting a nice little stickiness to it. We're gonna add the rest of our flour now. Oh yeah, there we go. All right, with our mixing done, we finally got a pretty good consistency dough. Don't be afraid if at this point you still see some flour in there, because it's chocolate chip time, baby. And as we mix these in, we're gonna get that remaining flour off the edges. But first and foremost, most important thing is quality assurance. No, not now. So, chocolate chip cookies are measured not by cups, but by the heart. So really, just kind of go nuts. Do what you think. Eyeball it. Engineering's all about approximating anyway. And then, yeah, just really mix it in. You're a pro at mixing at this point, so this shouldn't be hard for you. And then, you take a closer look, and you realize that some of the chips have fallen to the bottom, so you grab those. And then I'm a bit of a chocolate fiend myself, so I always like to add a little dollop extra. And then we mix that all in. And then, once we are done mixing, we have a perfect cookie dough. Ooh, ah. Now there's raw egg in this, so don't eat it. All right, I'm watching you. Next thing you're gonna do is you're actually gonna let the dough sit for about 30 minutes to an hour in the fridge. Let it cool. You can let it sit in there for longer if you want, but I don't have the patience for that. And after that's done, we're gonna put these in the oven. We're almost there. Parchment paper. It's always a good call. It's compostable. It's usually non-stick. That's what I like to put my cookies on. Unless, of course, you have a cookie baking tray, but I don't have access to one of those. Once your trays have a nice layer of parchment paper on them, go reach into your fridge, pull out your dough, and now here's where things get a little wild. Undos on broil. Broil, you might be wondering. Well, Nick, who the heck broils their cookies? And I'm here to tell you, I do, based upon a recommendation I got off of a YouTube video. So at least me and one other person out there are broiling their cookies. So the trick when you're broiling your cookie is, rather than make the typical ball shape like that, take it and then make it into a puck. So kind of like so. And then you'll have these nice, kind of thick, round sides, all right? So you're gonna wanna make, well, however many cookies you want, so just kind of keep rolling your little pucks. We have finished rolling our cookies, and so there's only one thing left to do, and that's put them in the oven. So I've set the oven to broil, and I'm just gonna go ahead and put these bad boys right in at the top here. Now, my oven is literally hotter than the sun, so I'm only gonna keep those in there for about 30 to 40 seconds. You'll see that the top of the cookies has sort of browned and cooked, but the rest of them haven't. That's gonna be important. But first things first, I'm gonna put this batch in as well, and also let it do its thing for about 30 to 45 seconds. Once you have broiled all of your cookies, the next thing is to set the oven to bake. And you wanna bake at around 350, kind of depends on your oven though. I usually put mine down a little bit lower because, as I mentioned, hotter than the sun. And anyways, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna throw these cookies back in there now. All right. And then timing can vary. Typically 11 to 12 minutes is a safe bet. But in this furnace, I usually go about 8 to 9. So we'll come back in that amount of time and we'll see how our cookies are looking, but we're almost there. All right, so time's up, so let's see what we've created. Oh, and my friends, we've created something magical. There's one batch. And here. Here is the other batch. So now I can reveal to you, the reason we broil at the start is you'll notice all those nice little cracks along the top and along the sides. That's a byproduct of the broiling. As the cookie expands at the bottom, the cooked top cracks open to account for it. It's pretty cool. There's some math and engineering there. And then what I like to do is I like to take just some additional sea salt and I just kind of very lightly sprinkle it on over the cookies. Sweet and savory. That's my kind of shtick, but we'll do one batch with and one batch without because it's not for everyone. All right. There we are. And now, the last thing we need to do is let these cool. They are a little too, whew, that's hot. Probably use gloves, good call. All right. So, how I like to let them cool is I take them over to a convenient location and then kind of like a magician pulling a rug or a thing out. So 3, 2, oh, haha. Just like that, perfect. No issues whatsoever there. And we'll do the same over on this side, maybe a little bit better. Voila, just like that. We'll come back when these have cooled off a little bit and we'll finish this video off. Okay, so now comes the best part. Take the apron off, the cooking is done. See, I've plated myself a lovely plate of 3 cookies. It is at this point that you should pay your camera person. There we go. And then no cookie is complete without some milk. So I'm a big fan of homogenized personally. So I'll pour myself a glass. Very slowly. Probably should have cut this hole a little bigger. It's alright. And then I always like to distill my homogenized milk because you never know what you're gonna get in there. So use my handy dandy cup. And we're just gonna distill it. Yep, like so. Perfect. Yeah, you see? Look at a full-on hunk of butter in there. You gotta be careful out there these days, I tell ya. All right, glass of milk, chocolate chip cookie. Of course, we dunk it in. That is so unhealthy. Oh my God. But it's delicious. Good luck on physics and on everything. If you watched the whole video, I'm really sorry. If you just skipped to this part, I'm rooting for you forever and always. So I'll be your Dophie for the rest of your life. We're stuck together, but I couldn't ask for better people to be stuck with. Thank you for a great year, and I cannot wait to see you when this virus thing blows over, which it will. We're engineers. We can fix anything, including a global pandemic. So go write that midterm, kick its butt, and if you make these cookies, let me know how they taste. I'm gonna eat way too many of them. There's a lot over there. All right, bye-bye. Start?
Yeah.
So the next thing you're gonna do, you're going to add half a cup of pre-measured shit. To all those who told me I needed a stand mixer, I say to you, I'm happy we spent the remaining budget on high quality chocolate chip cookies. We didn't buy cookies. We're making them, so never mind. Disregard.